Okay, guys, welcome back. We are now going to go over some kind of neat things that you can do with Word. They're going to be very important for at least the first homework, and part of it you'll go over in the second homework. But the first thing that I want to show you guys is the random code. All right. Now, if you have any problems with this random code, because it's not dire that you have to know this, but it's just going to make your life easier because I don't want to have you guys type a two-page paper. That's not beneficial to this class. For English, sure, that's beneficial. But for introduction to computers, not really. So I'm going to show you a little shortcut on how to just create code or create text for your paper using this code. So all you need to type in is first equals, then you type in RAND for random. You put your first parenthesis, then you put a number. This is the number of paragraphs that you want. So in this case, let's say I want 7 paragraphs. Okay. Then I put a comma, and then I put the number of lines that I want in each paragraph. So let's say I want 6 lines in each paragraph. Then I put my in parenthesis, and then I press enter. And as you can see now, I have 7 paragraphs with 6 lines in each paragraph. Now, if you look closely, it's 4 default template sentences just over and over again. If you read through these, there's actually some decent stuff in here that might help you. So I'd recommend you read through it real quick and make sure that you understand everything, stuff, but because it could help you on the test. Because these are all things that you can do for Word, but this is how you put in random text. Really simple. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to undo it. I'm going to delete this again, and I'm going to walk you through it one more time. So we're going to hit equal, RAND, parenthesis, the number of paragraphs we want. So this time we want 8, comma, the number of lines in each paragraph. This time we'll go 5. Put our in parenthesis, enter, and there you go. Now we have 8 paragraphs with 5 lines in each paragraph. Okay? Pretty simple stuff. You will definitely need to know how to do this for the first homework. So try it. Make sure you can get it right. If you have any problems, please let me know. Okay? It should be very simple. It should work really quickly for you, but I want to make sure that you guys get this right. Okay? Okay, so now that we've got all this text, we can do a lot of different stuff. So the first thing I want to do is I want to split these up into an unordered list. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit enter at each period. So I should have 5 different options, and there's our last one. Okay, so now I have 5 sentences separated. So I'm going to highlight them real quick. And I'm going to go up here and I'm going to click on my arrow for an unordered list or a bullet. So I click on my arrow and it gives me a bunch of different options. I can use checks, I got arrows, solid circles, open circles, squares, some little designs, diamond squares. Yeah, there's a lot of different things you can do. I'm just going to go ahead and use the check marks for now. Okay, so now I have what they call an unordered list right there. Okay, now let's say I decide I don't like the unordered list. I want to make it an ordered list. Come over here to the numbering. I can click here. There I've got my 1, 2, 3 with dots, 1, 2, 3 with parentheses, Roman numerals, ABC, lowercase ABC, ABC with dots, and lowercase Roman numerals. So I can choose any of these that I want. So I'm going to go ahead and just use the regular numbers. And there you go. So that's pretty simple stuff. Now, let's say I want a sub tab or a sub list underneath number 2. So I'm going to hit enter and I'm just going to press the tab key. You're going to notice that it go ahead and it gives me an open circle. If I hit it again, changes it to a square. One more time, close circle. So by just doing that, using the tab and the backspace key, or you can use the shift tab to go back as well, it shows you the line of progression of the sub list. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll go back here, and I'm going to enter more random text first. So let's go equals rnd. We'll say we want uh, just one paragraph this time with 3 lines in the paragraph. Okay, we'll go ahead and we'll separate this out. And there we go. Now we can highlight this. We can make it an unordered or ordered, but I'm going to go with unordered. And you see that it automatically makes it a subtab of that. Now if I were to hit the tab button, it moves it all over, but it doesn't change it because I have it all highlighted. So hitting the backspace puts it back where it was. So now I'm just going to take this space out of here. Now we've got 2 actual lists here. You've got your main list, which is an ordered list, and within that ordered list, we have an unordered sublist. Okay? So make sure you understand the difference between ordered and unordered, but then also make sure you understand what a sublist is, that it's a list within a list. Okay? You will need to know this for one of the homeworks because I will have you do this. Next thing I want to show you is the indents. I can click right here, and then you can see I can indent left and right here, or I can just hit the paragraph launcher and bring it up. So you see that right now my indentation is at 0.25. It's hanging, and it's hanging by 0.25. All right. So let's say I want to move that to 5. And you see how it moves down here. If you watch, it'll actually move the actual text that you're looking at. So I want to move that to a 5. I click OK, and you see that just number 1 has moved. All right. So if I want to move all of it, I need to highlight all of it. So when I highlight all of it, and I come over here and I go to I can choose to go to a 5. Click OK, and now everything lines up. However, we didn't want this subtext to be a 5, or we wanted it to be inside of this. So we don't want it to be a 5, we wanted it to be more. So we're going to highlight just these 3, go back to our launcher, and we can change it to whatever we want. So let's go ahead and move it to a 1. And there you go. So it's sunk in a little bit more. So that's really easy stuff to do. If you just need to indent the first line and you're just going by default, you can go ahead and hit the tab button right here, and it go ahead and it puts an indent in for you. Also, you could click the indent button right here. Okay. Now that will do the whole paragraph if you're looking to do that. So if you just want to do the first line, you click on the line, you hit tab, or you go to the launcher like we did and tell it what you want it to be. See, it says first line 0.5. Now if you want to do the whole paragraph, you can either highlight the whole paragraph like so and go in there and tell it you want it to be a 0.5. Okay, and there you go, the whole paragraph is now 0.5. See how it lines up with the list. Or you can do the decrease and increase indent, and it will actually go and do that for you. It'll do the whole paragraph for you. So that is also something that you will need to know. Okay, so we'll leave this one indented and the first line here indented. Okay, pretty simple stuff, but pay attention to what the homework says to do, because it will tell you to do some lines at 0.5, some lines at 1, the first line of a paragraph, the whole paragraph. So pay attention to what the directions actually tell you to do. One of the easy ways to show is you go here to the show hide paragraph. By clicking on this, it shows you these little P's right here tell you this is the end of a paragraph. These little arrows right here show you that there's like a natural tab in between these. spaces here. You'll see little dots in between each letter. That is just a space. Okay, these are editing tools. You'll see these in some of your English classes. Your teachers might use them. You might see them in the Word class if you need different things. But this just shows you a little bit more about where your paragraphs are, how many spaces you have in between certain letters. So see, if I add an extra space here, it's going to add an extra dot. So now I look at that and say, oh, well, there's 2 spaces there. So I can take one out. You can see that these have natural tabs that you can't really change. If you hit the backspace on this, it takes away the whole 5. So I'm going to go ahead and undo that so the 5 comes back. But pretty simple. It's more for editing than anything, but I want you guys to know how to do this, okay? So now I'm going to insert a picture in between here and here. So I go up to my Insert tab, and I go to Picture. Pretty simple. And we'll go back into Sample Pictures, and we'll use our penguin again. And we'll insert him in there. And there you go. Picture's already in. Pretty simple. Insert, picture, choose a picture, put him in there. Okay? You can save a picture, have whatever you want. The main thing I want you guys to look at here, and I'm going to bring this down a little bit so that you can actually see the names. There we go. Is the picture tools themselves. Okay? Oh. It's being a pain here. There we go. And you see that when I click on the picture, just like the table before, if I click off of it, I have my normal tabs. But when I click on the picture, my picture tools comes up. This is a special tab just for pictures. And I have a format tab within that. So now from in here, I can choose to do a bunch of different things. You can remove backgrounds. This works decent. It doesn't work exactly the best, but it does work. There's different stuff in here. There's corrections. If it's a little bit too bright, you can sit here and you can play with the picture to see how you like it. And if you look, there again, it says brightness, minus 20%, contrast, minus 40%. Pay attention to these labels because I will ask you to do something like this. So if you go to color, maybe I'll say I want you to do a saturation of 0. Put it in black and white. Okay, I come into color, find saturation of 0%. I click on it, and my picture's at 0. I've got 33, 66, 100%, which is normal, 200%, which overdoes it, 300, 400. So, and you can see the slight changes when I go through them. But a color saturation of 0 would put it into a black and white picture. Okay? There's artistic effects that you can do to it. You can pixelate them. They call this one a light screen. This one down here is glow edges. Kind of gives it a neon light kind of look. And there's a bunch of different ones that you can play with here. Also, we've got picture styles. This is something that's kind of new. This brought up the dialog box, but this is something that's kind of new to 2010 and 2007. And you can see if I click on the drop down, there's a bunch of different options here. So I can actually give mine a rounded edge and a mirrored look. So if you look down there, you can kind of see the picture kind of reflected on the image. It just gives your pictures a better look to them on what you want them to look like. See, and I don't really have to do a whole lot of photo editing at all. I can just choose, whatever I want here. So, make your pictures look nice. Make them, pop out at you or just look good on the page, however you want to do it. But there's a lot of different options that you have right here. Okay? Again, pay attention to the names. I may ask you to do certain names. One of the things here, position. This is big. Where do you want the picture? In line with the text. Do you want it could be the top left of the picture, the top center, top right, middle, bottom. You've got all these different options. You also have more options, but Let's say we want ours left center, middle left with square text wrapping. Okay, so I click that there, and there you go. Now you can see that it actually butts up against there. So let's say that I want the text to wrap around the picture. So I can minimize the picture a little bit, and you see that the text will wrap around the picture. Now maybe I don't want it that tight. Maybe I want to do something else. We have the wrap text right here, okay? Now, most of you probably remember the word wrap in Notepad. Different thing completely. Word wrap, lets you wrap around to a new line. Wrap text lets you wrap text around the picture. So I'm going to click here, and I've got different options. I've got the square. I can go tight, so that's right up against the picture. I can go through. So if I click through here, this one will not. I actually need to, I think, highlight the text here. Let's highlight the text. And, oop, there we go. No, it will actually not let me do the through with this picture. It could be top and bottom. What the through would do would put text right through the picture, but for some reason, because of the picture itself, it will not let me do that. It'll let you put the picture behind the text. All right. It will let you put it in front of the text, so you're actually cutting off text. You're losing text there, so that's probably not a good idea. Behind the text, you can barely read the text because of the picture. So I like to use the tight or the through. The through, I guess, if you had more of a design, like maybe if we cut these penguins out, it would be butted up against it. But the tight's good too. That's what I usually like to use. But that's different than the word wrap. Make sure that you use the wrap text and not the word wrap. Big difference, okay? Then again, remember we saw the bring forward, send backward. So if you have multiple pictures or, in front of words or something like that, so if I send it backwards, it's not going to do a whole lot because we have the wrap texting on. I can rotate. I can align the picture, left, right, center, distribute it. I can also crop the picture and make it smaller if I wanted to. So this is a big thing to look at. Look at the text wrapping. Look at the different types of styles that you can use. You can add borders to the picture, effects, color, correction, a lot of different stuff. So go in here, play around with this, but also pay attention to it because you will be asked questions on the test, and I will have stuff for you to do in both of the assignments with the styling of the pictures. So last thing I want to show you guys real quick is I want to go to the page layout here. And in the page layout, obviously you've got your themes, which we'll look at. You can choose different themes for your, it chooses font, color, patterns, and different stuff. We'll look at this more in PowerPoint and Excel, but look through it. There's different stuff that you can do. Also, you can see your actual pages, margins, orientation, just like as usual in your page layout. But the one thing we want to look at here is the watermark. Okay, so we're going to click on it. And what this allows you to do is actually put a watermark on the page so that if you wanted to keep something as a draft or a sample or tell someone do not copy, this is confidential, you can put that in there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a draft watermark on there. And now you can barely see it there, but if I scroll up here, you can see it a little bit better with just behind the text. But you see this draft right across there. Now when it prints out, it will print that little draft. It'll be very faint, but it'll be enough that somebody can see it so that they know that this is a draft or that this is confidential or whatever. So pay attention to this. I will have you do this on at least one of the assignments, but this is important for you from a business standpoint. You might have something that's just a draft. You might have something that is very confidential, or you want to make sure that they do not copy. So that's important. So that's just quick overview of some stuff. A lot of this is in the first assignment. So if you want to get started on the first assignment after watching this, feel free, because a lot of that we just went over, especially the random text, is going to help you a lot with that, okay? There's going to be at least one more lecture, maybe two, but you guys should be able to get started at least on the first assignment and part of the second. So good luck, and I'll see you soon.